Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Greg Bassey, your host from the Salisbury Independent newspaper. One of the great things of my job is I get to be around really special people who make a difference in the world. We've got one here today, Jeff Merritt from Operation We Care. Welcome, Jeff.
Hi, Greg. Thank you for having me.
I can't say enough about what you and your wife do every year for our veterans who are overseas. Tell me about Operation We Care and what is it all up to?
Well, it's way past me and my wife. We've got many volunteers doing what we do. Our core mission is to send the care packages to the troops. We've been doing that for 12 years. That's going to be our main project as we move forward. But over the years, we've been able to expand our footprint a little bit. We support the first responders, the law enforcement agencies, fire departments in the area. We're getting ready to break ground on Home for a Hero, which is a project that we've partnered with Greater Salisbury Committee and the Long and Foster Group, Maryland, Delaware. Long and Foster
Birmingham's behind that.
Yep. We're getting ready to break ground on a home that we're going to donate to a veteran family free of charge. So we're pretty excited about that, and always have a lot of balls in the air.
Michelle Wright, too, from
Yes.
Wright's Market is very involved in that.
Yes,
We've
absolutely.
had her on to talk about it.
Yep, Wright's Market, they've had, Michelle's done a couple fundraisers for us, and that's been a great help to us, yeah.
But to me, that's an extension. I could be wrong, but you've got a great event. But rather than just have the great event every year or twice a year, you say, what more can we do? And you guys come up with that.
We do. There's always new ideas. We're all about, rolling with the changes. Things are constantly changing in what we do. We do a lot of veteran advocacy, outreach type things for housing, transportation, employment. We're part of Lower Shore Veterans Network Group, which is 36 service providers they do different things, and we all just network with each other, and each person can do something to help out, and it's a good time. We have a lot of fun.
Now, when you started this 12 years ago, it was like, gosh, we need help. Please, someone come help us. But now you have so much help that you have to be careful about who you ask to come help you, because you'll fill the building so much that you violate the fire codes.
We do, yeah. The building's only so big, and there is such a thing as having too many people because, as you know, any event, there's a logistic side to it, and we try and make it as efficient as possible. But generally, we pack 1,000 boxes in about 4 hours. OperationWeCare.org is our website, and we also have a Facebook page. We've got tons of pictures, and there's a list of items that we need to fill the care packages, as well as our mailing address to send donations. We have an online PayPal link where you can donate with a credit card.
Now, we run photos of this in the paper all the time when you pack the boxes, and I get a little choked up when I see the photos of the kids who are drawing little pictures, sending messages, packing these boxes. Tell me what goes in these boxes.
So every box that we send is decorated on the inside by a student or a young lady, young man in a youth group, church group, community organizations. So there's lots of that going on. We start that months ahead of our packing events. And if you're on the receiving end of one of these boxes and you get a cool note from a little boy, little girl, it kind of touches your heart, especially if you have kids at home. And right now I think we've got 30 schools and youth groups, church groups involved in doing this pretty much year round. And it's pretty neat seeing the messages that the kids write. And we glue the paper panels on the inside of the box, and the troops take and peel them off, and they might glue them or tape them to their wall where they're staying, and yeah, it's a nice little reminder of home.
And it's great for the troops, but there's also a local fallout from this. I know my daughter and her friends never really understood what was going on overseas and what our military missions were and what the sacrifices of families. And this exercise caused her and them to learn about this and have changed them as human beings.
Well, it's a lesson in Americanism. It's a lesson that it's okay to do something for somebody that you don't know, and you'll probably never meet. It's okay to do that. Yeah.
What are the days that you pack? It's Memorial Day weekend usually.
No, it'll be Sunday the 19th.
Okay, so right before Memorial Day.
Yes.
And then the second one is around Veterans Day.
It's in November. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So they get them actually around, the troops will receive the packages around the holiday.
Yes. We want to pack in mid to late November so that the troops will have the packages in their hands before Christmas.
Right. That's just so awesome.
Yeah.
And one of the great things about social networking is that you will oftentimes see the troops in the field posting that they've received the boxes.
Yes.
And they react. What's that must feel like?
It's pretty cool. For me, it's really cool because I get all the emails, I get all the mail, and we get snail mail, we get emails, we get Facebook postings, we get private messages, pictures, and it's all thank you for not forgetting that we're over here, not forgetting that we're out here, and we ship packages all over the world, South Korea, Europe, North Africa, the Middle East, ships. We've got troops stationed all over the world, some of them not necessarily in a zone of conflict, but they're still deployed. They can't come home anytime they want.
They're still bored and lonely.
They're missing the holidays, they're missing the baseball games, they're missing all that stuff. So we want to let them know we don't forget them.
Now, I watch you a lot. You're very involved here in the local community. You own Minuteman Press, which is one of the great little businesses in town.
Thank you.
You're an ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce. You're at every ribbon cutting. Why is Jeff Merritt so involved in things? What has triggered this in you to become so involved?
I was thankfully I was brought up by two amazing parents that told me the importance of being involved in your community. And if you want to make a difference, you need to try and be the difference instead of kind of watching from a distance and having opinions about things. They taught me the importance of getting involved, and sometimes you don't get what you want. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep trying.
One of the things at the Operation We Care events every year, and I've heard this, is that there's like a little presentation ceremony during the event, and people all want to compliment you, and you deflect all that comment and throw it back on the others. Aren't you ready to accept some compliments for the work you do?
Not really. I have a lot of fun. I really don't consider it work. I'm fortunate to be surrounded by truly amazing people that I love working with them. The brainstorming sessions we have, every once in a while I'll go off the rails and get a crazy idea, and they kind of work with me, and we make it work. We have a situation. We're working with two veterans right now that were involved in the apartment fire on Mill Pond Village, and we're working with getting them some support that they need to get rehoused and get the things replaced that they lost while the insurance companies are doing their thing. That's kind of the things that we do. You're involved in a house fire, you have immediate needs. You can't wait for an insurance company to take action because life still happens, and that's kind of what we do. We'll fill these gaps and hopefully ease these transitions a little bit.
One of the photos we seem to have every time is a kid has built sort of a shelter or a fort out of the piles of boxes, the postal boxes that are headed out. They look like heavy boxes, and there's looks like there's thousands of them almost. Yeah. This must cost a lot of money to mail all this.
It does. It's a little over $18 per box. That's a flat rate. The boxes are 12 by 12 by 5.5, no weight limit, so we pack them as tight as we can. And we spent just under $41,000 last year at the post office shipping the boxes. Most of the contents are donated to us, so we don't have to worry too much about that. We do have to go out towards the end, right before the packing event. We'll do a final inventory and figure out what we're low on, and we might have to make a trip and clean out the dollar store or something.
Right, and the contents are like toiletries, things like that.
Snacks and toiletries. That's pretty much the two basic categories.
That's all I need in my life.
Yeah, toothpaste, toothbrush, Pop-Tarts. We do put Girl Scout cookies in. The Chesapeake Bay Girl Scout Council gives us a very generous donation of Girl Scout cookies every year at the end of cookie season. And Fisher's Popcorn is another
Wow.
big donator
Wow.
to us. Yeah, we put a bag of Fisher's Popcorn in every box. And, to the untrained eye, to somebody from, America's heartland, they might not know what Fisher's Popcorn is, but from somebody who's ever been to Ocean City, they
Yeah.
know exactly what it is. And again, it's a little reminder of home.
Yeah, I wish they could put English's chicken in there.
Right. That would be cool.
That's the thing I miss the most.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure as a nonprofit, you have plenty of money. You don't need any help.
Incorrect. Much like all the other nonprofits, we work together with a lot of the nonprofits in the area, and we all face the same thing. Everybody needs money. Money makes the wheels turn. The more money you have, the more things you can do. It's a direct equation. We are an all-volunteer organization the way we're structured, so we pay no salaries. Everything that comes in goes right back out to whatever we're working on at the time. Our big project right now is Spencer Weersberg. We're working a lot on that.
Great kid, great family. Just so sad.
Unbelievable, but totally an inspirational project. The community has rallied around that cause. I can't even tell you how far that has gone. We got a donation from the West Coast through our PayPal account online, and this gentleman did a yard sale at his house and sent the proceeds to Spencer.
Wow.
I mean, so that's how far this has gone.
And I call Spencer kid. I shouldn't. He's a grown man, but
Yes.
he and my son grew up together, and he was in our house a lot. And I've known him since he was 4 years old,
Wow.
and just a great guy. And
Yeah.
again, another public servant, just like his
Yeah.
family. They're all in public service.
Yep. It's but they're doing pretty good. Having them see the community rally
Yeah.
around this has definitely lifted their spirits. And Spencer had a couple tough rounds of chemo. Seems like things are going a little better now, if you can consider that better.
Yeah.
But at least they got the medication regulated. So we're hopeful.
We'll all pray for that.
We will, yes.
One thing is I've never heard you all ever ask for money, and I'm kind of making you ask for money here, and you're not. But I think what you do is you inspire people so much that they just sort of act, on an impulse.
I've had numerous people come to me over the years and say, thank you for what you're doing, because it's provided me an opportunity that I can support the troops and our first responders. And, they said, I can write a check to a national organization and send it off, and they'll do whatever with it. They said, I can see what you guys do,
Right.
because it's right here in the community. Nothing against a national organization. They do great work as well. But if you want to stick with a local homespun grassroots organization, we're one of the many opportunities in the area where we would appreciate the support. Because again, the more funds we have, the more things we can get involved in.
One of the great keepsakes you all have are these flags, where the troops in the field will sign the flags and
Yes.
nail them back. What
Yes.
a great thing that is.
Well, we actually sign the flags. We have some We Support Our Troops flags, and we'll take them around and get a whole bunch of messages on them, and then we'll put them in one of the care packages.
Right.
And then they'll respond by getting one of their unit flags and doing the same things,
Yeah.
getting all their unit members to sign and send it back. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. I've got some pretty neat pictures of our flags, on the decks of ships being held up by a group of people, and yeah, it's pretty neat.
How can I find you online if I want to send some money?
OperationWeCare.org is our website, and we also have a Facebook page. We've got tons of pictures, and there's a list of items that we need to fill the care packages, as well as our mailing address to send donations. We have an online PayPal link where you can donate with a credit card. And we appreciate all the donations, both financial and the supplies, to fill the care packages, because we actually pack care packages all year long. In between the two big events in May and November, we'll send smaller amounts, 25 to 50 boxes out every month.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, we've kind of ramped up a little bit.
Cool.
So we're just trying to keep up with the information as it comes in. If somebody sends us an address in June, right after we pack in May, we don't want to have them wait until November to get a care package, so we'll send them packages right away, and then if they're still deployed in November, we'll send to them again.
That's great.
So yeah, lot of units will hit more than once with care packages, depending on the length of their deployment.
He's Jeff Merritt. They're going to be packing those boxes this weekend to send to our troops and to help our first responders, and you cannot salute what this guy and his friends do enough. Jeff, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I'm joined now by Jamie Heater from downtown Salisbury. She organizes all the downtown Salisbury events. Welcome, Jamie.
Hi, nice to be here.
So you got some stuff cooking here. You got all the third Fridays, which are really interesting and fun.
Keep happening every month.
Every month, and you've had some bad weather.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah, but you seem to get past all that, and people still show up even in the bad weather.
They still show up in the rain. I know, it's amazing. People just like having a good time. So we're happy to work hard for them.
And this is an event, as a smart guy years ago, I was like, this thing will last about a year and a half, and they'll
I
get
heard
tired
that
of
too.
it. And it just gets bigger.
It does. It's actually going to celebrate its 10th anniversary this year in July.
Wow.
It'll be 10.
That sounds like a newspaper story.
I know. I was kind of like, I was unsure whether or not I wanted to make a big deal about it or
Right.
not, and like do a big birthday party, or whether I was just going to let it slide. But now, cat's out of the bag. I just told Greg Bassett.
10 years of that.
Yikes, now I'm going to have to do something.
What's the theme this month?
Wheels.
Wheels.
We normally do wheels in August, but the
Right.
skaters were like, it's hot. And we would prefer to do it not in August. And we needed to shift some things up in the calendar, so we moved it to May this year, and now it lines up with the Boy Scouts Pinewood Derby
Pinewood
that they
Derby,
do,
which is exciting.
which is also wheels.
Yes.
So really, it just made sense. So it's not the kids that are
Right.
competing. It's like businesses that have put teams together to help raise money for the Boy Scouts. So like, it's not that I'm nervous, but like I feel like some of them are gonna have like CO2 canisters on the back of them.
You're worried about cheating?
I'm not sure that there's a lot of rules associated with how they can propel their little piece of wood.
Yeah.
So it's all about creativity. I'm open to what happens, but the Boy Scouts do a great job organizing it every year. So we're happy to have them hold it at Third Friday
Where will that be held at Third Friday?
near Acorn Market.
Okay.
Kind of
over on the
down
other
in
side.
that area.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna shift down there for a few months. We're gonna kind of move around a little bit this year to avoid construction, but also just to make everybody's lives a little bit
That's right, because
easier.
Main Street is torn up. It has been paved, but it's still kind of a mess around that intersection.
It's still closed right now too, so that like creates a log jam if you have 3 out of 4 points of entry into the plaza blocked. You really,
Right.
it
Just this last weekend, that E-race, I expected maybe 75 people to show up. There must have been 400 or 500 people there. It was unbelievable.
packed and still construction. There was a ton of people downtown this weekend because there was Erase the Stigma, there was Green Fest, there was the Park and Flea, there was the Farmers Market, and just people moving around downtown more than I feel like I'm used to. Just enjoying themselves, walking around.
Do you take that all in as someone who was there 10 years ago when it was only you there?
I do. I feel like sometimes I'm the only person who thinks that way, but I know that I'm not. I know there's a lot of people who are excited about the growth and changes in downtown and that track it and pay attention and care. But yeah, I definitely do think like that.
Could you have imagined that it would be going this well?
I mean, I think I had an inkling that it was possible. I think that, some of the changes, the investments that, local government is making and the attitude and positivity in the town, and even just other investments that we're making towards quality of life, and the people in the county, with education and stuff like that. Like, I think, of course, all of that is going to have rewards. So I think we're just seeing some rewards from hard work that's been put in.
Yeah, I remember the mayor saying, like, if you're going to have a party, you've got to have, like, someone to organize the party. You can't rely on volunteers for everything. And you have really done that in just an amazing way.
Yeah, well, and we did rely on volunteers for a really long time, but at some point, there's only so much you can ask a volunteer. So I'm blessed that we've been able to create a full-time position for somebody to kind of pay attention to these things, because it was clear that there was enough demand for someone to produce events full-time, but also just to kind of keep an eye out for other events that are trying to get started, because they are something that can be run by volunteers.
Right.
People who are passionate can produce these things. They can be fundraisers for nonprofits, but there's a lot of red tape. So it takes some time getting to know what you're doing. So somebody like me can kind of help smooth the path for people and to get more events downtown, which is my goal. So I'm interested in helping other people produce their own events, because that means I don't have to.
Well, like even the Hero Day. The Hero Day a couple weeks ago where they pulled the fire truck, there was 100 300, 400 people there for
the police
that.
department did a great job too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been working. There's some really cool groups putting on stuff, so it's not all just Jamie Heater anymore, which is great. Which is probably
Right.
an excellent thing for Salisbury.
Right. Now, the big kahuna is certainly the National Folk Festival, where thousands of people
Yes.
come. But the one that's close to our hearts still is the Salisbury Festival.
The next best big kahuna,
Right.
hopefully.
And we worry about it being sort of like being meshed in between the Third Fridays and, in the shadow of the Folk Festival. But again, this year, we're going to try to get in with it this year. It's moved around a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you've added some musical stuff, I see.
Yeah, we had a band lineup last year, but we've added to that, and I think the main thing was that Paul Reed Smith wanted to come to Salisbury, so he basically was like, Salisbury, when do you want to have me? I'm willing to bring my 6-piece funk band to you.
And even I've heard of Paul Reed
Yeah,
Smith, so
a
that's
world
significant.
famous guitar manufacturer who
Yeah.
happens to live in Maryland, who just likes giving back to local communities like this. It's one of the things he likes to do, so that worked out. And then we have other great musical acts throughout the weekend, but we also have the carnival and food trucks and vendors and all sorts of different things for people to enjoy, not just the music lineup, although I'm excited about that part.
When is it?
June 7th, 8th, and 9th.
That's soon.
It is soon. It's like in 3-ish weeks, a month-ish, yeah.
And where will the festival be centered this year?
It's a little bit more comfortable as far as the feng shui goes. The carnival is actually going to be located in the Avery Hall parking lot, right along Route 13, but also right along the Riverwalk. So it gives it a little bit more room.
Right.
Be able to bring in a couple of more bigger rides,
Right.
more rides, and then the food trucks and things will also be along East Market Street. The bands will be located at the amphitheater. We get to use that new space. And then the vendors will be on Main Street.
That's a great place for it because
Yeah.
I last year, because of construction, it kind of got lost.
The last few years have been difficult for
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
but it's not all about me. Just as far as event planning in the midst of construction. So things haven't been perfect, but we're moving towards, more final locations and just being in spaces that have been freshly redeveloped, like the amphitheater. It's nice. People
Right.
are going to be surprised, be like, wow, it really does feel different down here now.
Right. It'll be visible from Route 13, which is always a good thing.
Free advertising.
And those carnival rides, I would think that everybody would be tired of it by now, but no, people come from miles away to ride those carnival
They
rides.
do. So some of them are for little kids, but some of them are for big kids and kids at heart too. So it's just, I don't know. It's one of those basic human needs to, when you're a child, to ride on something that's scary.
Now, it seems like emotionally, mentally, you have prepared yourself for any kind of weather situation.
Yeah.
I mean, do you actively go to church and pray for good weather in advance of this stuff, or do you just deal with it?
Yeah, my relationship with the higher powers is very complex, and it involves rain and events and all sorts of things related to events. Lots of prayer involved. But
I mean, one of the rules in Ocean City is if you want a hurricane, put a tent up in the inlet parking lot. You'll get a
you'll
hurricane.
be guaranteed. So rain's definitely, ask a farmer. Rain's been a thing the last couple of years. So I don't feel personally responsible, although it is a big risk. But we set it up. We're ready to get wet. And we'll make the call to cancel if there's things like, threat of tornado or lightning or something like that. But we'll hopefully have it rain or shine if we have to close it down temporarily. Like last year, we got flooded late in the
there was
day
a
on
flood.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it stopped raining, and that we probably could have had an hour or two of the festival in the evening, but all of the electrical was under this much
Right.
water.
Yeah, the weather got perfect there after everyone left.
It was a crazy storm, though, so hopefully we don't have
Well, it
anything
knocked
like
out the
that.
Nanticoke Bridge. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was a big one. But hopefully, we just keep going. These festivals are expensive. They're risky because of the rain. But we still think it's an opportunity that our community deserves. Mankind has been gathering for feasting and community togetherness since the Middle Ages. It's just something that I feel like people like to do. So we want to
Right.
give Salisbury that opportunity to show that we can do that as a town.
Talk about the music a little bit. When I first saw this, it reminded me of a mini folk festival. But you're going to have music all 3 days.
Yeah, all 3 days. That's unusual from what it used to do in the past. I think Friday night was the only concert,
Right.
maybe a little bit on Saturday. But on Friday, we're having a folk group from Estonia come and join us from our sister city in Tartu. And then
I put Tartu on my
On your bucket
Crab
list?
cakes. On my crab cakes.
Oh no, not Tartar. Tartu.
Oh,
It's a place. It's
okay.
in Estonia, near Finland, in between Finland and Russia.
Gotcha.
And there are sister cities. There
That's
happen
one of the
to have.
Baltic states.
It
right?
is.
Okay.
Yeah. Correct.
See, I paid attention
You
to
know
geography. Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a group of kids coming and touring Maryland that week, and they are just happen to be in Salisbury on Friday night, so we get to hear them for a few minutes. And then we have our local band, the Pramila Project, opening for the Paul Reed Smith Band. So that's going
Wow.
to be awesome.
And Fridays are always great because it seems like more locals are there on Friday. They come from afterward. That's like a
Yeah,
third Friday.
yeah. And then Saturday, Sunday, I feel like is more families, people coming to, spend a good couple of hours riding on rides and eating food and going to vendors. The vendors are only there on Saturday and Sunday. But on Saturday, the music lineup is a lot of fun. We've got Tops Cut Off DJ team, which is there all day long. So my stage is never going to be boring. It'll always be something fun happening. We've got the Amp Band. We have the Ecstasy Band, which is a Haitian band brought in from the Haitian community here that's going to play for a little while in the afternoon. So we're excited about that. We have Jada Lee, who's a local singer from Salisbury. Devin Beck, a local R&B singer from Salisbury. And then the Uprising Band on Saturday night. So local talent mixed
And
with
the
kind of
Uprising-
folk festival-y kind of stuff too that still represents our community. And the Uprising are a ton of fun.
The Uprising's better than anybody.
I agree. I love them.
I don't know how they're so good.
They are so good, and
Yeah.
they love playing for
Yeah.
or us. The Downtown Salisbury Festival, they go out of their way to make sure that they can come to it. Because,
And I'm afraid to tell them they're good because I don't want them to get big heads.
yeah, they're gonna get more expensive for me, so be careful.
And then Sunday you've got some stuff.
Yeah, so Red Letter Day is an all-female folk group fronted by Susanna Mallow and some of their teachers at SU. They're all
She's so fun.
extremely talented.
Yeah.
So they're coming. We'll still have Tops Cut Off DJ team. We have the Prince Street Elementary School Rhythm and Roots Band, which is elementary school bucket brigade percussion corps. So we're really excited to have them on the Sunday afternoon. And then we've got the Chris English Blues Band to close out the night Sunday.
Wow.
So, and he's always great.
So putting that whole amphitheater area to use. Water's there, Avery Hall parking lot, kind of all in there.
Kind of all right in there
Go
this
back
time.
and forth across the bridges. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's just
you can,
perfect.
Yeah, walking back and forth across the bridges is exactly right. You'll be able to buy beer on both sides and kind of carry it around. You won't be able to take it out of that area any farther, but we're really trying to get people moving around in that section. So, and then on Saturday and Sunday, all down Main Street, there'll be vendors to shop. So it'll be fun.
Do you need any help? Any volunteers?
We do have some volunteer spaces. You can reach out to me or the Chamber of Commerce. We take volunteers to do the info booth, as well as sell carnival ride tickets and set up and breakdown. So always looking for more help.
She's Jamie Heater, Salisbury Festival, June 7th through 9th. A lot going on in downtown Salisbury. Thanks for being here, Jamie.
Thanks.
I'm Greg Bassett from the Salisbury Independent Newspaper. Another edition of 101 right here on PAC 14.
First Shore Federal is proud to support PAC 14 and one-on-one. We'd encourage every business to support PAC 14 and pick a program and support it, and let's make a difference.